how do you detach yourself from holding yourself accountable for what could potentially happen to these people? Because I mean, if say I was suicidal, come to you and you were coaching me and something like bad happened to me in terms of like I committed suicide, like do you ever think about...
No, it never happened.
But I mean, like, I'm not saying it would happen. I'm saying like throughout the process of coaching them, do you not have to detach yourself from the end result could potentially go one way or the other?
Nah, you can't think like that, because then again, like, what are you speaking into reality? Do you know what I mean? So like when people come to me, if there's any doubt, I shouldn't really... If they're... Basically, I had a client come to me recently, hasn't told me full depth of what's going on with him, walking around Tesco, and then he's starting telling me about demons and spirits and that, and I'm like, mate, you did not tell me this on a consultation.
It's hefty.
Yeah, still was just like, bro, I'm there for you, do you know what I mean? And then he's flying. He's been going to doctors, he's been going to therapy, he's been going to everything. Everyone's just lobbing all these letters at him like ADHD and all of this shit. Bro, the geezer's doing well. He's only been with me a month. He's doing well, do you know what I mean? Like, I will sit here and I will be arrogant and I will be cocky that like I know my shit enough because I care. It's not because of education, it's because I give a shit and I know how these people brain work because I was that guy.
And it's also, sorry to interrupt, it's also like basics, isn't it? Like you get a routine, you improve your diet, you start training, you start taking like more action in your life. It would be weird if it didn't result in improvement.
It's how we look at life as well. It's like, I don't believe, there's no negatives in my life. There's nothing that pops up, nothing. So like, everything's a blessing. The fact that we get to wake up in the morning and fill our bed sheets is like a blessing, man. 150,000 people die on a daily basis. You don't realise how lucky you are to just wake up. You don't realise how lucky we are to have water running out of tap. You don't realise how lucky we are to just have food out of the fridge. Everything else is a bonus. Car, house, success, money, love. Everything else is a blessing if you just get to wake up.
But do you think that it's to be able to realise that is gratitude, that you have to go to the depths of the lows and the lows that you...
No, definitely not, because it just comes to the fact of not being too stubborn and arrogant to learn, because a lot of people will be in a good headspace and think they'll stay in a good headspace, but imagine the better headspace you can be in once you trigger your gratitude to be alive. But some people are so arrogant and naive to it, because imagine telling someone, just be grateful, think about something, and the universe will serve you that.
What are you thinking about now to be grateful for?
I'm thinking about my family.
Yeah, my mum comes in my head straight away.
It's the first thing I was thinking
Everything comes down to it now. When I made the most amount of money I've ever made, I was the most unhappiest I've ever been. But the best thing, no matter how much I was battling my depression, my happiest part was crying on the bed with my mum because I felt safe. So I could have had anything I ever wanted in the world. I could have flown on any holiday I wanted to do, but I would have felt safe. The only time I felt safe was when I was with my mum.
Isn't that mad? That is actually mad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Think about it.
But then, like, once you wire that way of thinking, like, my granddad died in December, and it was out of the blue. It was gone within 32 hours, and him, like my nan, was my best mate. And that broke me. Like, I cried when I needed to cry, but I still got up at 2:30. I still was in the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning, because it's not because I don't care. It's because I allow myself to feel the pain. I allow myself to feel the suffering, but I don't allow myself to surrender to wasting another second in this world. Because if my granddad could face death, laying in that hospital bed, knowing that he's going to pass away, I owe it to him. I owe it to the world. I owe it to people that are dying, that aren't going to wake up the next day, to wake up and make every single second count.
Yeah, I rate it, mate. I genuinely do. I'm all for that mindset, but at the same time, it's difficult sometimes to be conscious of that thought process when you're caught up just in day-to-day life.
Yeah.
You say that though, but then it's lifestyle choices, isn't it? I've literally just proved in one sentence
For
that
sure,
you can do it in the hardest times.
I'm backing you 100%, but I'm just like, from my perspective, sometimes I forget, and then I get to have a conversation like this, or I get to listen to a bit of content, and I'm like, fucking hell, mate, it's not actually that bad.
Like, I've got 5 alarms that go off throughout the day, and it just says thank you, I am.
Nice.
Every like 2 hours, and it's just like, think about it. When someone does something for you, say thank you. Whenever you receive a present, you say thank you. Gratitude and thank you thank you is the most powerful word to show gratitude, right? And when you're at gratitude, it's the biggest state of receivership. Okay, so you're in abundance every single time you're saying thank you. So every single day when that alarm goes off for 2 hours, I'm just like, thank you. Like, thank you for being alive. Thank you for my family. Thank you for the love. Thank you for my clients. And then I'll just do an affirmation. Like, I am powerful. I am strong. I am successful. Now, if you're planting that every 2 hours in your subconscious, that is your belief system.
I might try that for a month.
Yeah.
Just see, and at the end of the month, I'll message you with the results. I'll start that from tomorrow.
You'll notice it within a week, mate. How can you not? Do you know what I mean? Like, I have some days where I'm exhausted. I just had a week gone where I've just been absolutely knackered, and I've listened to myself. I've surrendered and gone, Gonna go and do my wake up, do my bits, go to the gym, come home, chill, no work.
Isn't it funny that discipline is just the answer to everything?
Yeah.
Discipline in downtime as well is key, because a lot of people feel guilty having downtime, but if you're disciplined because you know that you need it, you will not create guilt. Guilt and shame should lead everyone on their path to where they need to be. So if you eat, let's go back to food. If you eat something and you feel guilt and shame for doing it, don't do it again. That is your calling from your higher power that you should not be fucking doing that. If you've got a missus and you're texting another bird or you're looking at another bird and you feel guilty and shame for it, that is your higher power guiding you that you should not be doing that. And we don't realise that guilt and shame, I believe, is the most positive tool we can use, because you're being guided. You should feel so much guilt and shame, because I wish I could feel guilt and shame 100 times a day, because I'm going to get to that fucking person I admire a hell of a lot quicker. Do you understand? So these mistakes that we feel guilt and shame for, is like, right, buzzing, don't dwell on it. Don't let it lower your vibration. What can I learn from this? I know this feels terrible, so I'm going to make sure that I never have this feeling again.
Yeah, they call it your moral compass.
Yeah.
So like it's your inner self telling you that that action is not reciprocated with where you want to get to.
Yeah, 100%. And I had it the other day. Like, I went to bed, I didn't get my 8,000 steps in. I only done like 4,000. And I went to sleep, and my bitch part of my brain just won. I was just exhausted. BMW had my car. It was pissing down with rain. My mate was like, do you want to lift to the office? And I was like, nah, it's good. I walked 20 minutes to the office to punish myself, because I was a drowned rat. I was soaking wet. I had a consultation to get to. Everyone was walking past. Someone could have drove past in a puddle. Would have been that guy that ended up on fucking TikTok absolutely soaked. But I stopped and I just looked at myself in the mirror, and I was like, this is what it feels like to let yourself down. This is what it feels like to break a promise to yourself. And then I'm walking, and then I'm thinking like, this is horrible. Then gratitude. Someone could be looking out this window that's paralyzed. I'd love to just go and dance in that rain.
It's about like actually programming the mind for those conscious thoughts. Mate, I've got something for you actually. I've got a treadmill that goes underneath my desk. And then I've got a raised stand, so like you can prop it up on your desk.
I'm actually thinking about
I'll send you it after this. Yeah, it's decent.
Do it. Yeah.
But obviously I want to pull back. So you started coaching. I'm really interested in terms of like demographics. I can imagine a lot of your clients, I guess predominantly are males, right?
Yeah, I do have at the moment. I do have a few females with me at the moment.
But like mostly males. What's like common across like the coaching you've seen for those like young lads?
It's lack of confidence, depression, suicidal thoughts, anxiety, purpose. It's a mixture of everything, really.
What do you think, like, in terms of, is there like common themes throughout all of these like lads that you're doing? Yeah,
there's just like what I was learning at 23 is what everyone should have been learning. So they have no idea that how they feel now doesn't have to be permanent. And I had a lad come to me and it was like, his brother got in touch and was like, mate, I want to end it. I want to call it a day. And he was like, can you help me? And I said to his brother, like, mate, I can help him. Yeah, I'll get him on a call straight away. And then the next day, he's like, I spoke to him literally an hour later. And the next day, it was like antidepressants. I said, just give me a week. Just give me 1 week. And if you still feel like you do now, then by all means, mate, I'll give you a lift to the doctors myself to go and get him. Within a week, he's just like, no, I can see the tunnel now. Do you know what I mean? So it's very, very hard to understand or explain my style of coaching until I get in that chair, because once I get into that flow state, I will not leave that call until someone has learned something that has come on, and all of their insecurities and worries from the past week have gone. And all of the education, all of the learning just comes out. And I care so much, mate. I care you can't even imagine how much I care about it.
It must just be such a beautiful feeling getting on a call and like somebody not facilitating what they said they were going to do in terms of committing suicide or something like that.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
It's the best feeling in the world. Like, this Christmas gone was probably one of the most powerful Christmases I've ever had in my life, because all of my clients were just like, thank you so much. And the ones that are battling their mental health, I knew that their parents had their son or their daughter around that table because of the work that we'd done together, and they were so close to not making it to that Christmas.
I love it, mate. I actually do.